Is it recording?
I'm so nervous. It's recording.
Oh. It's been like 7 years since
fine.
we've done this.
It's fine, yeah. That was pretty good timing.
Today's episode, we're going to be talking about a specific anime, and that anime is...
Hunter x Hunter! I think it's actually probably just called Hunter x Hunter, but I like to say the X in the middle of it.
Because it's like their theme kind of thing.
Yeah, they're like...
It's
kind of like verses.
Yeah.
You know? Our topic today is, why is Hunter x Hunter, or Hunter x Hunter, if you will, so damn good?
So damn good.
So damn good. So we broke it down basically into a couple of key things that me and Omari agreed about.
Yeah.
That separated Hunter x Hunter from some of the other shonen animes.
So let's just dive straight into the synopsis for those of you who don't know what the show is.
Yeah, so basically Hunter x Hunter follows two boys, a young boy named Gon Freaks and his best old buddy, Killua Zoldyck. And so it's set up in your normal, stereotypical shonen way. You have the young boy, he's got his goal, he wants to go become a hunter, and a hunter is just another word for basically an adventurer in that world. They get a hunter's license, and they get to go around having adventures, having all kinds of fun.
And with the license, they can... Because they have the license, they could go all around the world. Cause
yes.
Like, everybody respects this license as like, this is a job for some people, so we'll let them go wherever they want.
It's kind of a fantasy adventure type of anime.
And it's mainly adventure in like the first probably half of it, and then the second half it just flips everything on its head, and this is why it's different than
why
most
why it's so damn good. First thing that we talked about was the actual world building of Hunter x Hunter, because in any good show you want to feel like the world is huge and it is immersive. Like take Naruto for example. When you're introduced to Naruto, you are because Naruto does world building very well. They set you up in a pseudo-modern world that, because they have video cameras in Naruto, but they also, it's this ninja world that's all secretive and hidden away. And so what Hunter x Hunter does, basically, is it introduces you to this world that you know nothing about. There are random dragons flying around, and you're like...
Monsters and stuff
monsters.
In this
and they're,
regular world.
Yeah, they're thrown away kind of as asides.
Yeah.
Like, you just see Gon's dad flying this dragon that's riding on a dragon on an island, like, with...
Full of all types of stuff.
All types of stuff, so you're like, whoa, that's crazy stuff. The intrigue of the world is set up so well that you want to see the main character get into those shenanigans with this crazy world that they live in.
You kind of get these rules because when you build a world, they're almost always new. So you get these new rules to like what this world will entail,
right?
And then you follow those rules or you stick to those rules for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, that's about what I was gonna say next. Yeah. It has a set of rules, but they also change dramatically within every 30 or so episodes.
Yeah.
So the first set of rules is we have a kind of happy-go-lucky adventure, okay, where nobody really has like powers that are predefined and stuff.
It's literally just like physical strength.
Yeah, physical strength.
Or it looks like that.
Yeah, but later on they explain some of it. But yeah, so you got your physical strength, kind of adventuring, Bear Grylls type of survival in the first 30 episodes, and then past that, you go into a completely different a world that Hunter x Hunter has created, which is a very dark, twisted. Kind of gangstery vibe for the Phantom Troop. Yeah, it's kind of gangstery. You're basically there's the whole. I mean, there are gangsters.
They're basically gangsters
in it, and it goes into this really dark, twisted thing. And to spoiler part of it, there's a part where a guy bites off another guy's head, and you're like, whoa!
Straight up.
Yeah, straight up, and he shoots a tooth.
Yeah, and he's like, and you're like, how does this even happen in this world because these rules haven't been established yet?
Yeah,
and
so
then
it's jarring. Yeah. In
and
a
it
good
kind of
way.
it describes it to you later on. It's like, okay, so these guys have things called nen.
Yeah.
And that's basically like, you know, there's a lot of animes out there that have like powers within or whatever, and it's like chakra or chi or stuff, and that's basically this world's version of that. It's called nen. And there's like different capacities of these nens and stuff, and this is how you get the power.
Yeah, let's get into nen a little bit, because that's one of the points that I really actually liked that separated it in the actual world building aspect. A lot of animes do power levels basically like that. They have numbers. They have my numbers beat your numbers. I've been training really hard, so obviously my numbers are super strong. You can't beat me.
Yeah.
Like the biggest example of how power levels kind of go wrong is power creep that happens. And this sounds really nerdy, but it makes sense. So in Dragon Ball Z, okay, they have a power level set up.
Yeah.
It's over 9,000, over 9,000.
Oh, and here comes the memes.
Yeah, within one arc of Dragon Ball Z, when they end the Frieza saga, okay, Frieza introduces himself as someone with a power level of over 1,000,000. Okay, so we go to 9,000 to 1,000,000.
That's
Guess
a
what?
huge jump.
Yeah, Frieza goes through 3 transformations.
He's like,
And
this
then-
isn't even my final form.
Yes, and then Goku goes through like one really big transformation. No, 2, because he goes Kaioken, and then he goes Super Saiyan. So it's constantly like whoosh with those numbers.
Yeah.
But what Nen does is Nen is a way for a lot of psychological fights to happen, and a lot of fights that are kind of like chess.
Yeah,
really.
it's very chess oriented, because like with the numbers thing, it's usually like my number beats yours, so obviously I'll win, or you know, determination or whatever.
Yeah,
But with
determination. Fills me with determination.
But like with Nen, there's like 6 different types of users of Nen, and they kind of like go around in a circle, like this is best to go against this is best to go against this.
It's very rock paper scissors esque, and you can't have too many powers either, because you just
overload.
you kind of max out your Nen and stuff. So it's a really interesting way of strategically like doing a lot of these fights, because some of the fights are set up to where Gon and Killua should not be able to win, but due to some kind of Nen advantages that they have, they're able to basically defeat their enemies, and they're very rewarding. They're more rewarding than normal shonen fights.
The rules that have already been set up in this world building, they shouldn't win. And then they kind of like, not necessarily make new rules, but them having Nen is not like a new rule, but you didn't know that they could like use their Nen the way they're using. And so they somehow overcome.
Yeah, it's continuously new things are added with the whole Nen aspect. Yeah. But what really lures you into this is the characters.
Oh yeah, the characters are really, really good. And they're so juxtaposed, because the 2 characters, Gon and Killua. Gon is like a happy-go-lucky type of thing. He just wants to adventure. He just wants to be an adventurer, and just kind of like tour the world.
He's the most bright-eyed little kid. Like literally, you look at his eyes and you're like, don't ever change, guys.
And then you have Killua, who's like the complete opposite. He's from a family of assassins.
He's a cold-ass killer.
He's like cold. He's really cold. Especially when he's like first meeting Gon. He's like, you won't survive in this world, because I grew up as an assassin, and this is the way the world works. You have to kill or be killed.
Yeah, so the juxtaposition of it allows Hunter x Hunter to do things tonally that no other shonen anime really gets to do. So, for example, we are running into this bright-eyed world when we're first introduced to the hunters. Everything is really cheery and sunny. The colors are very bright, okay? And then, at the drop of a hat, you have Killua perform a move where he inserts his hand into someone's chest, takes their heart.
Ali Ma style.
I
mean, he doesn't bite into it and like.
You know what? He might as well.
He could have if he wanted to, but he just holds it, and you're just like, whoa, the head came out of left field.
Yeah. So tonally, you're getting a lot of things. You're getting the enjoyment of that bright, sunny kind of RPG adventure, and you're getting this dark kind of assassin, violent anime. And you're not getting too much of each of them. They're very well balanced.
Yeah, it's not like Killua is like this 6'10" god.
No,
Just,
they're
like,
both
little
like
kids.
little kids. What I think about when I think about Killua and Gon is that for me, they're what Naruto and Sasuke should have been. Because their emotional depth between their relationship is just so much more intricate. There's so many things changing. Like, when Killua is first introduced to Gon, Killua kind of sees him as an interesting buddy who could possibly become his friend.
Yeah.
And Gon is so bright-eyed that he's like,
this is my friend!
Yeah, everyone's my friend. You're my friend. And which is great, because that's what Killua needed at that time. But their relationship changes.
Yeah. They kind of grow together.
They grow together. They finally get put on the same playing field when Gon catches up to Killua pretty early in the show, which is like episode 50 or something when Gon catches up. That. Very good characters. Some of these characters are so three-dimensional that you don't know if you're rooting really for the main hero or the main villain.
Most villains, they just want all the power. They want everything to belong to them. And the basic arc of the whole Chimera Ants is like the queen is feasting on different animals to make better kids or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're supposed to like get more power as she eats more and more.
This is our first arc that we're introduced to where there are actual world ramifications about it. And there's not a lot of hunters that actually get to go on this mission.
Yeah.
Like, you would imagine, end of the world, where are the strongest characters? But we don't get the strongest characters really introduced.
Yeah.
There's weight on this arc. Yeah. Like, it's a heavy arc. And Gon's dealing with his own personal stuff. Killua is dealing with his own personal stuff because there's a rift in the friendship.
Yeah.
And you kind of see how characters can actually change and emotionally develop during the anime. And the end of it is quite possibly one of the most beautiful things I've seen in animation.
Basically, the second arc is kind of like a war times kind of thing. And war has always changed people, but this one is specific.
Philosophically about war, too.
Such a good change between all the characters, not just the quote-unquote good side. Because most of the time you get to see, with most animes, you see a little bit into like the quote-unquote bad guys past or whatever and why they've become the way they are, and you kind of get a little bit of sympathy, but it seems like they rarely change. But this one, it's the change that the main bad guy goes through is so drastic that it's like you wouldn't have expected the ending to be the way it played out.
Yeah, because it's a typical man versus beast scenario where the person who plays the man role and the person who plays the beast role are slowly switching throughout the arc. You have these ants who their main philosophy is to take over the world, and slowly they become more and more human, and we get to learn what defines people as humans.
And the way that they kind of approach it, which I thought was excellent, it was like Chimera ants start off eating smaller animals, and then they gain that strength or power or ability of that animal, and then they eat bigger and bigger. And so they started off with animals, and I mean, we are animals, but they
eventually
get to humans. And it's just regular humans, and then they move to humans with Nen powers, and then they get, so much
their
bigger.
evolution is literally, and it's a lot of it is also about evolution and the evolution of humanity.
And because of that, they usually learn from their quote-unquote past lives.
Yeah.
So they kind of take on that, and, if they eat, I mean, kind of a spoiler, not really, but if they eat, like, a little girl or whatever, and she has a brother, that Chimera ant will now remember.
Kind of a spoiler, but not really. So here's what happens. Say, for example, they eat a little girl character. Her name is.
Then they'll have the memories, or some of the memories, kind of locked in their subconscious, and only specific moments can like unlock it, and that's when they become a little bit more human and less animalistic or less chimera. Another cool thing about this show that isn't necessarily in most animes is they have good training arcs.
Yeah, I personally love training arcs in anime. They're very stereotypical. It makes you feel good. You feel like progress. And so when a good training
Rocky music.
when a good training arc is done, you feel good. And well, they have really two primary ones. The one where Gon and Killua learn Nen for the first time, and the one in Greed Island, which Greed Island is a very great place to do a training arc because it is set up in a video game.
Yeah.
And so it seems fun.
It's a game, but not really a game.
Yeah. So they're getting stronger in this game. So they're fighting these fictitious monsters and stuff like that. And it just makes it so much fun, and there's so much humor involved. Like, they have to stay awake and hold a rock at the same time. Yeah, so that's like great, funny training arcs. You get to see the progress happening, and you get to really see it through both the characters' focus and concentration, like how quick they are on their feet, and through
how they deal with failure and that stuff.
And a visual, like their Nen aura, which like, it's basically like the whole Dragon Ball Z kind of like, and their energy around them. Yeah. But you can tangibly see the differences. And that can kind of bring us to animation style. You
could see the differences between positive and negative with the color that they choose of like the Nen energy that's flowing out around them, or the way that the characters feel. Because like, if you go into Dragon Ball Z, and you know they just kind of have like a funny feeling, like, oh, this guy seems like really. I mean, yeah, they have that, but like before the fights, they're like, oh, this guy kind of seems like he's really powerful. Or they'll throw an attack and they'll deflect it and be like, oh man, I can't believe that happened. But with this, it's like the whole world around them changes, because there's this not really a villain, not really a protagonist character, Hisoka, who is
that is true best girl.
True best girl, who's kind of teaching them about Nen.
Super interesting character, because you don't ever actually know if he is on
your
side. You kind of just have to put that away for a little bit.
You really just have to say, like, what does he want?
Yeah.
Wherever I align with what he wants, that's what'll tell me if I'm on his side or not. So before they get to Greed Island, they're like going through this underground fight type of thing, and they're going up the levels. There's a point where you get to a level and it's like people are actually like really good, and it's like you could possibly die in these fights type of thing. Mm-hmm. And Hisoka was waiting there for Gon and Killua, because he's basically been like going along this trip with them or whatever. And so he gives off this aura of negative energy, so that is just so powerful.
It could
slow down.
It could physically
like they're walking down a hall and they're slowing down
just,
because of
just from the psychological attack of it. There were people that weren't prepared for it that got crippled for life.
And so like they're walking in this energy or whatever, and they can barely move, and then they kind of like see him, and he's like, once you could get past this negative energy, then I'll let you guys compete in this. And it's like, oh my god, that's a whole different level of Nen power.
Yeah.
You know?
And the animation that they do for it is like super cool.
Yeah.
And it gets progressively more elaborate throughout the show. Yeah. The more weightier the scene is, the more you can see the love that the animators put into this. Like, one small thing that a character will do blows his Nen like out of proportion. It becomes dark. It becomes staticky. Things we haven't currently seen in the anime that are introduced in this. They're saving all the best cards for some of the most heavy emotional moments.
Yeah.
And it's jaw-dropping. The punches are so visceral.
Yeah.
It feels heavy on your heart.
You're really watching, this fight.
You are immersed in it to the point where you're not actually rooting for the fight to happen.
Yeah.
You're like, this is hurtful to watch.
Yeah.
Because it's just so real and visceral, and like tonally you can see the characters' emotions through their energy. Yeah. Which is a very cool
which doesn't happen very often.
No, you see more energy, you see less energy, you see lightning bolts, but you don't really see like this energy with emotions.
Yeah. For me, I what I took from the show is that the characters are so well-rounded, and they change drastically throughout the show, that I think it's worth watching.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
for
yeah.
me.
Yeah, worth watching. I think it's a must watch if you are an anime fan and you can stomach action, okay? Because basically what it is a character drama. It's a character drama with great character progression. The fights are incredibly entertaining. They're not over the top shonen-y. They're strategic fights. They have unique characters, like three-dimensional characters.
The fights are different.
The fights are different. The arcs are entertaining. They breathe life into it. Every arc is different than the last arc. It is so much a must-watch that I think you are literally doing yourself a disservice to animation in general. If you don't see the show.
To its full entirety.
Yeah.
Because it has like 3 arcs and they're all different.
For me, it's the magnum opus of shonen anime. Not of anime in general, but of shonen anime. It's what shonen could be if it was taken seriously by animators and by the writers. Killua voices all your thoughts and things that you didn't think about.
Yeah.
So they're so next level on the dialogue that you're like, oh Jesus, these guys are really smart. Let me just sit back and kind of watch this unfold instead of being like, oh, I can predict the next thing. Yeah. Because the show is very unpredictable, which shonens generally are not.
Yeah.
So it breaks the mold for shonens. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
What's the Discord sound that when you log off a Discord? I just go pew, beep, boop, boo. Now we can do the erotic film that we were talking about.